Hello, loves. It's Hills from the Blue Flame Apothecary here. How was that full moon? I mean, we're still in the energy, right? I'm recording this on 10/10, which is an amazing number, an amazing day of the year. It's one of my favorite. I resonate very strongly to 10/10 energy. As maybe we'll go a little into what do I mean by that before we dip into what we're actually going to be exploring in this particular energy update. 10/10, the number 10 is a completion of a cycle. So when you're feeling into 10/10, you're coming into not just the completion of a cycle, but a unification. It's a cycle of unification that you're coming into a completion of, and sometimes it feels like a leveling up. If you think of the number 11, that master number 11, 11 is about manifestation in a big way. The 10 is about a sometimes rapid change. So when you think of 10/10, there's this like binary code nature to it, right? 1010. And we can feel how that's about transformation and how we are being allowed to transform our nature. When you see 10/10 a lot, it's highlighting to you. It's like putting flashing lights around. Hey, there's a big change coming up. And it's kind of perfect, right? Because 10/10 hits just as we come into the starting of the Arcturian gateway, which is part of what we're talking about today. And as we begin the transition from Libra into Scorpio energy. We're still very much in Libra energy right now, but because the eclipses are starting so fast when we enter into Scorpio, the eclipse is on the 25th and we enter into Scorpio on the 23rd. So this wormhole is already open. This eclipse wormhole is already open, and it's almost as if the energy is kind of already pulling us in, and we're starting to swim in that deep transformative energy. We'll get into the eclipses in another update. I don't think they're fully coming in this one. Where I'm feeling this taking us, and this is part of this transformation that the 10/10 is bringing in, and maybe that's why it wanted to come in as we began, is karma. And in particular, a transformation of the way that we have previously defined or thought of karma. Over the next couple of days, we're going to start with some archetypes and then kind of flow into this energy through that. Over the next couple of days, Jupiter is in a really, really beautiful trine with Hygeia. I've talked about Hygeia before in kind of like mundane, traditional archetypal energies. Hygeia is hygiene, the caduceus of the medical community, the AMA, and that's America's, but all over the globe they use the caduceus in medical communities. That's her symbol. What it means on a deeper level is purification. It's allowing for your being to resonate at a cleaner frequency, maybe would be a way to say it. When you talk about purification and cleaner frequencies and stuff, things can get a little tense. But a way to feel into it is deep and profound healing, but almost as if it's a reminder that you are already there, as opposed to you have this work to do. Like, you are already there, and then you get to a new there, and then you're already there, and then you get to a new there. And it's kind of that spiral energy, right? There's not a single ring of the spiral that's better than any other ring of the spiral, but you're constant in motion. And that's the symbol of the caduceus as well, right? It's the spinning around the center pole. And it can also be thought of as like kundalini energy. Jupiter is expansive. And Jupiter has been in Aries since the spring of this year, 2022. And has been moving backwards since the summer. So Jupiter came into Aries after having been in Pisces for a while, and then kind of started to shift backwards. And in a few days, I can't remember the exact date of that actually. That's okay, it doesn't matter. In a few days, right around the time that the sun moves into Scorpio, Jupiter is, I think it's the 20th. Jupiter is going to shift back into Pisces. As it's happening, Hygeia has moved from Aquarius. Oh, God. Excuse me. I don't know what I'm talking about all of a sudden. Hygeia has moved from Scorpio into Sagittarius and is riding that zero line of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So Jupiter in Aries is shining into Hygeia in its home sign, expanding this energy. And Sagittarius energy is also about expanding consciousness, expanding like higher education is part of it. But it's not education like go to uni. It's education like accessing the Akashic records, like downloading deeper wisdoms. It's gnosis. It's about gnosis, deep internal and external knowing and feeling that knowing. And Akashic records, that's why that came in. So as Jupiter and Hygeia are doing this amazing like healing energy, helping us to access the healing energy of the Akashic records, perhaps. Saturn in Aquarius, another sign very linked to higher consciousness, to transcendence, to dreams, is making the final exact square to Uranus. That's actually happening on the 20th. That's the one that's happening on the 20th. And it's tight all through the month of October. And the day that the sun goes into Scorpio, Saturn's going to move direct. So it's kind of, this energy is like almost at a standstill right now. Both of them moving backwards, and then Saturn is going to slowly turn and start moving forward again as Uranus continues to move backwards. They won't meet in an exact square again. Don't worry. This energy is familiar to us. We've been dancing in it since 2020, and it was the signature energy of 2021. Many people have talked about how this is the breaking down of the old for the rising of the new. Uranus is in Taurus, and that can be felt as kind of taking away anything that doesn't fit anymore. It's awakening us to a new way that we can exist in the material world. That's the way that wants to be said. Awakening us into a new way to exist within the material world. The Uranus is called the Great Awakener. But it's Saturn where we're really focusing today. Saturn has kind of a bad rap. Saturn is the Lord of karma, the Lord of time. It's our structures, it's our foundations, it's the patriarchy. But what if it is also where we can go? Like the platform that rises us up to the next place that we go. And this is, in this energy, we're going to start to bring in the stellar dimension of Arcturus. Arcturus is about to have its annual conjunction with the sun. And it's having its annual conjunction with the sun just as Venus and the sun are moving closer and closer in the days before Venus hits its star point, which is the day that it conjoins with the sun. The Arcturus gateway opens from the 17th to the 19th approximately of September every year. Give or take a little bit of time on either side for your particular area that you live in on this planet. But when this happens, our access point to the Akasha, to the Akashic records, widens. It opens up. And one of the pieces that Arcturus has always shown to me, anyhow, is that what we in this physical incarnation generally think of as right doing and wrong doing, and all the limitations and judgments that we put upon others and upon ourselves about right and wrong, when you are in the realms of these sorts of stellar dimensions, and you can see the full playing field at a larger extent, you start to realize that something that you thought maybe was unfair actually needed to happen so that the next piece that actually brings about something that's beautiful can unfold. There's a lot of stories that I could go into about how that happens. One piece that came in, which is in the Oracle card transmission that I'm offering on the channel now, is the conflict, the rising up that's happening in Iran. There's something that's beautiful and profound and that needed to happen. And it would be amazing if it could happen in a way that didn't hurt so badly to watch, and to lose this beautiful soul's incarnate being that was the facilitating factor. What if this is hard to say. What if the beings who took that woman's life were actually facilitating? They were pulling the slingshot back to help Iran propel forward. Can we have compassion for the fact that they have to wear that scar on their heart now, and that's part of their karmic record, and it's in their Akash? But we don't actually know. We don't know what the agreement was between these souls to help facilitate this beautiful revolution that's happening now in Iran. Now, can we also take this down smaller into self? Can we explore the ways that maybe we have judged ourselves for something that we thought we had done that was horrible. But then looking back on it 5 years ago, later, or 10 years later, or even 10 minutes later, we can see that if we hadn't done that thing, it would actually be, let's rephrase this, having done that thing facilitated a moment of expansion for ourselves, for someone else, for the collective. Now, I'm not talking about like going out and hurting self or hurting others, things like this. It feels really important to clarify here that we are still asked in this life to be the light and to remember and to always come back to that place, to resonate at higher and higher and higher frequencies. And so if we're doing that, causing harm to another is not, like I said, those beings who took the woman's life in Iran, they have to wear that mark now. Like that was, part of the soul contract, perhaps. That was part of a greater unfolding that is being facilitated now. But it doesn't take away from them having done this thing through fear, through a sense of powerlessness. The stellar dimension of Arcturus, I've talked about quite a bit. We're going to kind of shift zones a little bit. It has often come through for me as they call themselves the way station, W-A-Y. And they show themselves as like a grand central station of the cosmos. It's like an interlocking zone, a dimensional plane that resonates very high, maybe 12 to 17 dimensions, and is what we would call 12 to 17 dimensions. I don't know if they would call it that. But there is a part of it that is where our souls move through as we are connecting in with various lives that we are going to, various incarnations that we are going to. It's the place where we review what it is that our unique birth map should be. It's where we review how we want to exist in our next incarnations, perhaps. It's also a place without judgment. And this is really important. It's not like you're going and sitting in front of a tribunal and being judged for you did this and you did that and you did this and you did that, and here is now, like, sometimes there's a Buddhist tradition where there's also a way station, but it's a scale, and they measure your heart against a feather and see which one's lighter, and that's how it's decided where you go. It doesn't feel like that to me. It's more like there's a big stellar map, and depending on what it is that your soul is being asked to create in the universe, that decides where you end up. And you, as an incarnate being have free will then to decide how you're going to maneuver through that. I'm not going to go too far into the weeds on what Arcturus is all about. There's actually going to be a live transmission share circle in the members portal on the 17th, so check the link in bio for that. Every month in the members portal we have a live circle, and this one is the October circle. Saturn, to me, feels like, the way I put it earlier today, which is the most true that I can get at this moment anyways, is that Saturn is an interdimensional reflection of this Arcturian energy. So it holds those resonances of linear time, of karma, of foundation and structure. And it helps us in a way on the earth plane connect into that part of ourselves that needs a foundation, that needs a structure, that needs a platform to build upon. As we explore over these next couple of weeks, coming into this Saturn-Uranus, coming into the soul Venus star point, which is a place of remembering that it's the transition of Venus in this particular case from a morning star to an evening star, and a place where we can shine light. We're shifting from shining the light outwards to shining the light inwards. The night can be the unconscious. There's this way in which we're really being gifted to connect with the light that's within us, to remember that we are also the foundation. We are the foundation of this rising new earth, and that in that way Saturn is also us. These are really difficult waters. I'm feeling watery in this. It's emotional, right? Like that conversation about Iran, that's emotional. That is deep heart, and it's our what's just. What is just? What is fair? That's not fair. As I was feeling into this transmission and the transmission that's coming in for the members portal, the John Lennon song Instant Karma came in. And at first, when you're listening to the song, it sounds like John and Yoko are really like they're casting judgment upon the people who are judging them and their relationship, and you broke up the Beatles, or yada yada yada. We don't need to go all that places. But it's, instant karma is going to get you. It's going to smack you right in the face. You better get together, darling, and join the human race. But then, as the song transitions, what is the chorus? Who do you think you are? A shining star? Well, right you are. Because we all shine on. Like the moon, like the stars, like the sun. And this brings me to a Rumi poem, Out Beyond the Ideas. In this poem, Rumi says, out beyond the ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I will meet you there. To me, this field is Arcturus, the stellar dimension that Arcturus, the star, represents. Can we move beyond what we think might be right and what we think might be wrong, and understand that there is a field beyond that? This field is love. This field is love. And because each one of us is made of the exact same thing, the words "judge not lest ye be judged" are coming in, right? Yes, of course. We don't want anyone to be hurt. We don't want to hurt anyone. This is part of being love, being light. We don't want anyone to get hurt, and we want fair. We want just. We want equality. And the way it's coming through is to say, what if the way to this equality is through also not judging those who seem to be standing in its way? Because they are probably acting from deep wounds and deep trauma. Maybe we can find compassion for that. And through that, it expands our love, which then expands the love wider and wider and farther and farther. It's this beautiful light, this beautiful blue flame, if you will. There is a meditation that came through when Arcturus and Vega were high in the sky here on the YouTube channel. I'm going to share that as an end cap to this video. I want to feel in, there's a sense that this video was very all over the place, and I was about to apologize for that, but it also feels like somehow that was how it was supposed to be. These are frequency transmissions, these energy updates. So sometimes it's not actually the words coming out of my mouth. Instead, it's something that's hitting you in a deeper place. It's hitting you in a deeper place, the heart place, the high heart place, the deepest chambers of your heart. And so sometimes you might have a really strong reaction of like anger or rage or fear. Sometimes that is the indicator that something profound is happening. I'll end on this story. In the years between 2012 and 2019, I was extremely sick. From 2013 to 2019, I had something like 17 different surgeries. At one point, I think it was in 2018 or maybe 2017, late 2017, early 2018, I was so frustrated. I hadn't been out of bed in days. I was so sick. I was in so much pain. Everything hurt. I couldn't stay awake. I was on all kinds of medications. It was brutal. Real dark night of the soul type stuff. Out of sheer frustration, I opened my computer and I typed every single symptom that I was experiencing into the Google machine. The first 10 hits that came back, the first 10 hits, which the full page of what came back first, every single one of them was something about ascension symptoms and light body symptoms. And I slammed my computer shut and I said, fuck you. However, I started playing with my oracle cards and my tarot cards more. I started diving into numerology and astrology in deeper ways. I kind of left all of that stuff for a few years, and I was trying to fit into a suit that didn't fit me. It's no wonder I got sick, right? But looking back at that in like mid 2020, I didn't even, I slammed the computer shut. I said, fuck you. And then I went on. And I didn't tell anyone about it. I didn't do anything except for looking back. Now I can trace how I started to explore deeper and deeper and deeper, and return back to my roots, to my true nature, more and more and more. And I remember at some point in 2020 looking back and being like, yes, that pissed me off, but it actually got in there and it was doing stuff. It was reminding me of who I was, and sharing with me something that would hit me in a place beyond where I could think. And it could be a fun place to explore as we're in this really intense and transformative energy, right? In the last update, we talked about relationships, and in the one before that, we talked about Kali retrograde. And all of this is about relationships, and it's about transforming the way in which we are, the way we connect, and the way we connect with ourselves. And there are times when something really pisses us off, really triggers us, and it is entirely possible it's because somebody just picked a scab off, and that wound is exposed now. But the beauty of that is that now you can get in there and you can back teen it, you can clean it up, you can find the light within it. I didn't know we were going there today, but it's always a gift to share whatever comes through in these transmissions, to explore all of the ways the frequency wants to flow and the dimensions of everything, of the all, want to be shared. Thank you all so much for all your comments. And please, if something resonates or if something pisses you off, leave a comment. Let me know what you heard and what you felt. Let me know what you felt. I read all of the comments, and it's really a joy. If you enjoyed this transmission, if you like the stuff that I'm sharing on this channel, please subscribe, like the video, and ring the bell so you know whenever I drop any more light, as I like to say. There's a lot more about Arcturus and about Saturn, about the star point and the cosmic light drops for the Aries Full Moon. I'll put a link below for that. And definitely come check out the members portal. We're a growing community who wants to spread love and light and hold each other as we go through all of these amazing and sometimes kind of difficult transformations that are part of that. I also share weekly, or not weekly, but lunar cycle oracle card transmissions, and there's live share circles, as I talked about. We have the one on the 17th. There's apothecary goodies that come through the channel all the time. My channel, not this channel. Oh, in all the ways and always. So much and many loves to you from all the dimensions. Mwah.